And again, thank you for joining us tonight for tonight's community meeting on the Bond 2020 Replacement School project for the Lenore Kirk Hall Personalized Learning Academy at Oak Cliff. We're so glad that you joined us and are able to participate in this meeting. There'll be several opportunities for you to communicate, for you to share your thoughts and share your comments, and we'll get them answered right here. If you're joining us on the Zoom call directly, then you'll have the opportunity to participate by using the reactions button at the lower right-hand corner of the screen and raising your hand, and then we'll allow you to go off mute and answer your question directly. Or you can ask any questions or make any comments in the chat room, on the chat button, which is also located at the lower side of your screen. If you're joining us on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us today. You can also ask your questions on Facebook, and we'll get those answered as well. We're simulcasting in Facebook in Spanish and in English. So feel free to ask your questions as comments, and we will get those answered immediately. We're very pleased to have joining us this evening for this meeting, the trustee for this amazing school and the board president, President Ben Mackey. Mr. Trustee Mackey, if you would like to make comments at this time.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. It's great to be back with the LK Hall Personalized Learning community here. Dr. Borrego, thank you for your leadership and all the work you and the entire team do at that phenomenal school. It's been exciting to be on these calls over the last couple of months. I think we've had a couple of these and get to see the changes as we get to a really great future for what the school will look like. And so as it was the first time I was here, I'm just here to help make sure that the students at LK Hall get the amazing building that they deserve, and excited to be here with you. And I'm always available if anyone has questions or comments, and I can definitely help make sure that comes to reality. So thank you again so much. Thank you to the team that has helped bring this design to this point. You guys have put in a lot of work, and thank you to Dr. Borrego and his staff again, and all the family members here.
And thank you again for everything you do for the district as a whole and for your dedication to this particular district. We appreciate the work you do, Trustee Mackey. And Trustee Mackey, you alluded to the amazing principal at this great school, Principal Rahel. If you would like to say words of welcome today and make any comments right now, that'd be great.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to give everyone a warm welcome this evening. I know the rain caught us, but I appreciate you being invested in our scholars and in our campus. We can't do this work without you. I'm so grateful to Trustee Mackey for his involvement with this process. He's been phenomenal, and also our executive director, Dr. Diana Kelly. She's been phenomenal in supporting our campus. You know, it takes a village, and so we're just grateful for the opportunity to continue learning. And, everyone that's had a hand, all the architects, all the city planners, everyone that has helped us, parents, community members that have given us feedback. It's been instrumental in, kind of designing what the new school for Hall will look like. And again, we just want to thank you. We're excited for you to be here and excited for this process.
And thank you again, you and your staff, for everything you do to educate our scholars day in and day out. We know that the job is big, but you guys certainly are doing an amazing job. And thank you so much for everything that you do every single day. I do want to acknowledge the fact that the executive director for this school is on the call, but she's actually, I don't know if Ms. Kelly, if you can make comments this time. I know you're in the process of moving around. So if not, I just want to acknowledge their presence. Go ahead.
Well, good evening. Thank you so much. I am so just elated to have the opportunity to be here to Trustee Mackey, also Principal Borrego, and our phenomenal stakeholders. I'm so just ecstatic to support all of the phenomenal learning at LK Hall. And I am so excited about the vision and the legacy of Hall as we look towards a wonderful new building for our students and for our community. So I want to thank the architects and all of our stakeholders and everyone on the call and our parents as well. And I look forward to our continued support as we continue to strive for excellence for our kids. Thank you kindly. And pardon me if there is any static. I am traveling, and safe travels to everyone, and have a good evening. Thank you kindly.
And thank you, Ms. Kelly, for everything that you do to support the schools in your particular district, and everything that you do every day to support our scholars and making sure that we have warm and safe learning environments across the district. As I stated, this is the Lenore Kirk Hall replacement campus for Lenore Kirk Hall Personalized Learning Academy at Oak Cliff. This has been a journey. We've had several meetings over the course of the past year to come to this particular point where we're able to share some more definite and detailed design work regarding this new school, for a much needed, I should say, new school. We've listened to your comments and taken those into account. And again, for our theme for Bond 2020, as we build forward, is we're thinking big, bold, innovative, and generational. Bond 2020 is actually the largest bond in the history of the state of Texas, and Dallas ISD is using it to upgrade our campuses and making sure that we're creating safe and warm and welcoming learning environments that will take us well into the next century. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to the design team so they can share what they've come up with thanks to your input. So go ahead.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bell, and it's such a pleasure to be here. It's been so exciting to be a part of this process and to work with the incredible staff and the members of the district in the process of doing this new school for these terrific students that we've got. Just to move forward and reacquaint everyone with the site that we face and the site that we get to build on, to let you know where we are. This street along the north is Keats Drive. It is the main street and the front of our existing building. And you can see the existing outline of Hall Elementary School right here. And what you see here is an easement that goes to the existing chiller and transformer. And to us as designers, this is kind of important because we know that these things need to remain in place and they need to remain operational while the existing school is still occupied and while the new school is being constructed. And so we have to be very, very conscientious about how we navigate the site around these elements. You can see that our new school is snuggled up right up against the existing one. And again, maintaining the clearance that we need for these existing bits of infrastructure to remain active and to remain in place while the new school is being constructed and while the existing school remains occupied. In our last community meeting, we presented two options for the arrangement of the new school. One of them was a two-story option with a two-story classroom wing that came down on this side. And the other option was a single-story structure for the entire facility. And the community overwhelmingly agreed that they wanted to have a single-story option. And what that does is that allows us to create a courtyard that you see here. And then we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. And we've got some really good ideas for it. Here is the new school in completion. You will see that. I'll zoom in just a little bit here so that you can see better. We have an ample new pickup and drop-off lane for parents. It is 3 lanes wide so that plenty of cars can get in to drop off kids in the morning and to pick up kids in the afternoon. And then there is additional what we call stacking space here, places for cars to line up to pick up and drop off their students. We have the cafeteria area on this north side of the building, the gymnasium in the center, the administration area, and then this bend in the building becomes our front entry. On the other side of the building, we have our classroom wings where all of our classrooms are located. And then in the center, you can see we've got an outdoor learning center, courtyard space, play area, and a lot of spaces for kids to gather and to have class outside and to really enjoy being out there. Down on this end of the site, we have our play fields, play court, and playground areas. Move back out here. And here you see the site. This makes it a little bit easier to understand because we've got the grass shaded in green, and you can see that we've got our soccer field, our play courts, and our driveway and parking areas.
Ellen, I think it might be important to touch on this being a multi-phased effort so that the old school will remain online all the way through the construction of this one, and then be demolished over the summer so that both schools will be operational at the same time.
Absolutely. And as Victor said, yes, the existing school will be operational. It will be occupied during construction. And so you'll be able to see what's going on the site. And after the old building is removed, then we will be able to come back and construct all of the driveways and parking areas and play areas that you see here and get all of the landscaping done and to really finish the site and make it beautiful. All right, so here you see an overall floor plan of the proposed new school. Again, we have main entry area right here in the center. And from that point, people can go to the north through administrative offices and administrative areas, our gymnasium, our cafeteria and kitchen, music classroom. And in the center here, you'll be able to see what's going on in the library, which is going to be along this area, and the makerspace. And then toward this direction, we have at the very front our pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, and first grade classrooms, our special education suite, art classrooms, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade classrooms. This shows a little bit more clearly where everything is located. So here you see our pre-kindergarten and kindergarten classrooms. Oh, excuse me, those were the pre-kindergarten classrooms. These are the kindergarten classrooms. First grade classrooms. Second grade classrooms. Third grade classrooms, fourth grade classrooms, and these are classrooms and science classrooms. And then our fifth grade classrooms.
A large part of our design idea for this school was using these wings to separate the kids by age a little bit. So those early elementary educational wings are centered so that the younger kids are tucked more towards the center, towards the library, and towards the administrative areas. And then the ages get a little older as the wings stack out. So a little more responsibility, a little more guidance tucked onto the inside, and then using the wing of that school to separate the two.
Absolutely. It also provides a little bit more of a transition between younger children and older children so that you don't have the issue of having very young pre-kindergarten kids next to third grade kids. All right, this plan highlights our special education suite. We have 2 special education classrooms that are joined by a kitchenette, a private restroom, and laundry facilities. We've got 2 smaller special education classrooms on the opposite side of the hall. And then we also, of course, have our special early childhood special education classroom over with the pre-kindergarten and kindergarten classes. For extracurricular activities and education, we have our library space that occupies this area of the building, and this is in glass so that you can have really good views into the library and then out into the rest of the school as well. The library faces the makerspace so that these 2 areas can really communicate and work together collaboratively. And of course, we have our outdoor learning and recreation courtyard here, which we hope will be a real center of activity in the school. We have an extra multi-purpose classroom for growth, music classroom over here near the gymnasium and cafeteria and stage, our gymnasium and physical education, and of course our performing space on the stage at the cafeteria. Are there any questions so far about the organization of the building? Okay. Our administrative suite is right in the center of the building, and that helps all of the staff maintain a close eye on comings and goings and who is coming and who is going.
Plus, with some of the challenges of how the school's laid out right now, having to come in the school and then hook a left and kind of know where the office is, this gives great proximity to the front door. So you're welcomed by staff and you don't have to traverse through the school kind of unattended. We're looking at the ability to lock off the educational wing. And so for after school performances, you'll have direct access from the lobby into the gymnasium and then into the stage of the cafeteria. So we're looking at trying to control access by kind of buffering the lobby with the administrative block.
This is true. Our maintenance and food service spaces, as Victor was saying, our cafeteria space and food service happen over here at the north end of the building. And we have access to the building through the cafeteria as well for special occasions, so that when there's an event in the evening, parents can come directly into this space without having to walk through the building for an extra level of security. All right, here's an enlarged view of our administrative area. Our main entry is a large lobby and collaboration space, and this can be used for events or for after school activities as kids are waiting for their parents to pick them up. And one nice thing about this space is that it offers a straight view all the way from one side of the building to the other side of the building and out into this really terrific into this really terrific park area just to the east of the building. We believe that everything, all of the offices that you see here are placed so that a visitor who isn't very familiar with the building can find their way around easily and without becoming confused. Our gymnasium and cafeteria spaces are located on the north end of the building, again, so that the noisy functions of the school are separate from the academic functions of the school, and so that they can be accessible after hours for events and for parents who need to pick up their kids a little bit later in the afternoon. Our music classroom is situated so that it has immediate access to the stage area for performances. And the dashed blue line that you see here is the storm shelter function of the building. So the structure of this area is especially fortified to provide protection in the event of severe weather. Our library area, again, is in the center of the building with glass front so that there are good views in from the front area, from the front door and the front lobby space. We have a maker space that also has the same views into the rest of the school area, and an open collaboration space so that activity can kind of spill out and happen in any part of the building. It also goes out into this courtyard so that there can be activities that begin in the library or the art classroom and maybe move outside so that there can be further exploration. All right. So this is what we call elevations of the building. And an elevation, for those of you who are not architects, is a flat drawing of a face of the building. So it's like looking at a building straight on. And that's why everything appears flat here. But what we see here is we've got a very solid front, and we also have sort of these baffles to help filter a little bit of sunlight and to provide a softer edge. In our last community meeting, we talked about how the community wanted to have a Latin influence to the building. And one thing that we found about that is that with Latin architecture, it's very, very common to have a strong monolithic, very, very solid exterior. And then on the interior, to have these courtyard spaces that are intricate and delicate and lively and have elements at the human level. And that's what we've tried to do here. So here's what we look at when we enter the building. This is the gymnasium area that you see here. And like I said, it's a very strong presence for the community. But at the same time, we have these wood slats that sort of baffle the sun. They filter the sun a little bit and reduce glare, but they also provide a little bit more of a soft edge to the building. And of course, the opportunity to have some art at the front of the building is really important to all of us.
Yeah, and the choice of materials, using the brick to pay homage to not just academic buildings in general, but the building that is sitting on the site currently. We didn't want to ignore the history of what is there. We wanted to take it and adapt it to a more modern look, using those hard materials, the academic brick, and then, softening the edge of the building where it's at the kind of touch feel level where the wood look metal is showing up. And then offering a huge signage element so that there is a presence on the street, and then also kind of wayfinding.
This is true. This is a view from the corner of Illinois Avenue and Keats. So one thing that we wanted to do in the layout of this building, and because we have a little bit of a hillside that we're building on, we know that Illinois Avenue is a busy street. And so one thing that we did is we created this elevation in floor level so that the building sits up a little bit higher than the street, to provide a little bit more of a separation from the traffic and the people who are walking along this busy thoroughfare. It provides a little bit more separation and a little bit more of a sense of safety.
So there's a visual separation. So the windows are a little higher, preventing a distraction in the classrooms. You're not going to see as much of that traffic whizzing by. You're not going to be hearing as much of it. So we'll have a visual and a sound separation by increasing the kind of plinth and the height of the school along Illinois.
Absolutely. Another thing that we're looking at with our landscape architect is the introduction of native plants and grasses that are drought hardy, that are easy to maintain, and that bring in a little bit more of that Latin aesthetic that the community voiced an affinity for. And we're taking that very seriously. This is a view into the courtyard itself, and we see this as being a really active, energetic space. So there's an opportunity for more landscaping, more shade trees, more shade structures around the perimeter of the classrooms that open up into this space, outdoor learning possibilities, outdoor play possibilities, and a really terrific, lively educational space that's protected, but still outside of the building, so that it's very, very easy to step outside and continue class in the sunshine.
Or in light of COVID, we have ventilation naturally through operable doors and windows on the classrooms that abut the edges of the courtyard. So you'll be able to crack the door and get a little bit of fresh air into the classroom.
It's true. This is a bird's eye view of the school. And you can see again where we have the wood look baffles that go around the inside of the courtyard for a softer edge, a little bit more of a tactile experience. These have a wood appearance, but they are actually a metal, so they do not have the same requirements for maintenance as wood does, and they don't splinter, and they're a little bit easier to keep clean. This is a bird's eye view of the front of the building. Are there any questions about our work so far?
If anyone has any questions, again, if you're joining us on the Zoom call, you can use the reactions button at the bottom to raise your hand, and we'll allow you to go off mute in order to ask your questions, or you can submit your question in the chat room. If you're joining us on Facebook, please feel free to ask any questions as comments, and we'll get those shared as well. I'm not seeing any right now, so if you want to continue.
That is my last slide.
Fantastic. Well, let me ask, let me see, what is your the community? Principal, how do you feel about your new school?
We're excited. We're really grateful that, they've kind of honored the tradition of, the current brick building. I love the fact that we get to retain kind of our garden workspace in the middle, the attentiveness to the layout, paying attention to traffic, parents having access to the building, also providing play areas for our students, and then the 2 soccer fields on the back. I did talk earlier with the architects a few weeks ago, and they did mention about fencing, that's going to be on that street in Illinois. So I want to reassure parents that there will be something in between the street, obviously the campus. Again, I'm just super grateful to see how it's developing so quickly. I really love the front entrance. I think it's going to create, a unique space that's going to, identify Hall and put Hall on the map here in Oak Cliff.
Fantastic. Do we have any questions from anyone about any of the spaces, interior, exterior space, any of the design? Any comments anyone like to share?
I see one chat.
Okay, let me see the chat here. See? No, I think we're pretty good. So again, if you're joining us on Facebook, you can ask questions, make comments on Facebook, and we'll get those asked. If you're joining us on this call, please feel free to take your phone off of mute and ask any question you may have. Well, let me ask you this. If we can get, if everyone's excited about it, if we can go ahead and go that reactions button, maybe give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So let us know how you feel about the new Lenore Kirk Hall. Oh, we're getting some love, some hearts for love. We're getting a lot of thumbs up, a lot of excitement here about it. Fantastic. Wonderful.
Please don't hesitate to leave any comment, because we definitely would like to address everybody's.
Absolutely.
Definitely. As everyone knows, this meeting is being recorded and will be shared on the Bond website. So if you know parents, we know it's a storm coming. A lot of people are in transit trying to make sure they're getting to safety. If you know of anyone who was not able to join tonight's meeting, they can either go to the Dallas ISD Facebook page to see the video and to watch the meeting in person, or they can go to the Bond website. And that address is www.dallasisd.org/Bond 2020 meetings. That's Bond 2020 meetings. And the video of this meeting will be uploaded there by close of business tomorrow. Okay, we have a member of our team from Dallas ISD Bond and Communications on the line, Katie Linehan. Katie, if you could let us know about next steps at this point. Where do we go from here?
Thanks, Jack. Thank you, Jackie. So the next process that we're going to go through is we're going to go into what we call the construction we are in the construction document process. where we're creating the building details and documenting how the contractor needs to build the building. We produce a set of, the architect and the engineers produce a set of drawings and specifications. Then we begin the permitting review at the City of Dallas, which is a 2-step process. We're already in the zoning review process. So next step, we'll have engineering review and building code review. That does take a little bit of time, and it does impact our schedule. The city, as many of you might have heard, is pretty busy and a little bit backlogged, but we work and communicate with them on a regular basis. So we're confident about the timeline. And then once we pull that building permit, at some point we'll go out to bid, and actually towards the end of the permitting, and then we'll break ground.
And Ted, we do have a question. Will there be trees planted in the garden area?
Yes, we're currently working with the landscape architect to get the exact species of plants and plantings that are going to be in the courtyard. But yeah, we're paying attention to not just the trees we're going to be planting, but if you'll see in the lower left-hand corner, we're saving as many heritage trees on the site that we can.
Absolutely.
But the is showing for some trees in the garden area.
Okay. We have another question about the flooring in the pre-K classrooms. Last time we talked with the architects, we mentioned an issue with having carpet in the pre-K classrooms. Has this been addressed?
Yes, indeed.
Great. So what, if you can share what type of flooring you're looking at right now?
All of our classrooms will have a vinyl tile floor, and we'll have a floor pattern so that we'll have a little bit of liveliness in the pattern of the floor, but it will all be a hard flooring that is easy to clean.
Fantastic.
I would like to just add to this comment that I have received a recent directive from BISD's bond team, and we will be discussing what flooring changes, if any, going to happen at this school with the bond program team, as well as Principal Borrego. We're going to come up with the final plan that hopefully will be approved by everybody.
Wonderful.
But
wonderful.
the only major change that we were requested to make is that in the regular classrooms, the district bond team would like to see what's called luxury vinyl tile installed in these classrooms.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Any other questions or comments? Can you, just for people who joined us a little bit, can you just go back, not all the way through the slides, but just show the actual renderings, the actual renderings, just one time?
Of course.
So everyone can see this beautiful new building.
All right. So this is a view as you're entering the building, as you're approaching from the outside. Another view. This, what we're seeing here is the gymnasium area behind this wall and the administration area here. Another view of the entry of the building as you're approaching. We have a generous canopy structure to keep the heat out and to keep the rain off and to keep the sun off. This is a view from the corner of Illinois and Keats Avenues, and these are the classroom wings of the building that you're seeing from outside, as if you're on the sidewalk outside. This is a view from inside the courtyard space of the building. And so all around the courtyard space, we have classrooms that open up into this outdoor learning space. We'll have play structures and outdoor opportunities for holding class and for conducting science experiments and growing and getting dirty. This is a bird's eye view of the building looking into the courtyard space. And this is a bird's eye view looking at the entry of the building. And there we are.
Wonderful. What a beautiful design, and what a great way to capture the input that we've heard from the community over the past several meetings. I'm not seeing any additional questions or comments coming in. So I want to thank everyone for their time. And again, this meeting has been recorded and will be shared on the Bond website at www.dallasisd.org/Bond 2020 meetings. That's Bond 2020 meetings. As we close out today, I want to give an opportunity for our principal once again to close us out this evening and share your thoughts.
We want to thank again Mr. Brent Alfred, Mr. Hirani, the architect team, everyone that's worked on this project. Again, my administrative staff, my admin team, you, Ms. Bell, for leading these meetings. Again, the trustee, our executive director, thank you for being here. The community members, we thank you for your feedback. Like I said, this is a testament to the community, to the spirit and culture that's located here in Oak Cliff. And so, again, I just want to thank you for taking your time on this rainy evening. I wish your families safety, that you temper out this storm, weather out this storm, and stay safe and stay warm.
Okay, thank you again for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next time. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.